Alright, so it took me about 15 months to go from being a burnt out agency owner who basically hated his life to making over $100,000 a month in profit as an AI operator. And transparently, I did this before we had all of the AI tools that we have today. So I'm going to show you how I would do it in half the time using AI. Now this video is going to be an updated guide on the exact steps that I would take to get back to where I am today. First, I'm going to show you the skills that you need to learn to actually do this. Then I'm going to show you how to get clients as quickly as humanly possible. And then I'm going to show you how to deliver incredible results for those clients so you can actually scale and close those clients on rev shares so you can potentially get to 100K a month with just 7 clients like I did. Before I get into the details, if you don't know what AI operating is, basically you're partnering with people that sell courses and coaching online. You become the marketer and operator behind the scenes who's using AI to write copy, script videos, build the sales team, and basically pull all of the levers that'll turn the attention that your client is getting into revenue. So let me show you how this works step by step. Phase 1 is building the foundation. First, you have to learn the core skills. While AI can do the majority of the work for you, if you don't know how to write copy, if you don't know what a good email or a good VSL looks like, then you're basically just shooting in the dark, and you won't really have the confidence in your skill set, which means that you'll probably sabotage yourself on sales calls and not be able to close clients the way that you want to. So the first step is you need to indoctrinate yourself into the info product world. Whenever you see someone online who has a big personal brand and they're selling coaching, start to go through their funnel. Start to click on their ads, click on their landing page, watch the videos, go through their sales process, just basically funnel hack their entire process, join their email list, watch their content, just so you can start to get a better understanding of how an info product business works. One thing that I did in this phase is I started to build a swipe file. So anytime I would see somebody's funnel and their sales process, I would bookmark it on my computer, and I probably had hundreds of different funnels bookmarked. And that helped me almost subconsciously understand, okay, here's how to write a good VSL, here's what a good funnel looks like, a good sales process. And then when I started to get clients, I could just refer back to all of the references that I now had available and basically copy their entire structure. There are also plenty of copywriting books that'll help you get a better understanding of what good copy looks like. And shameless plug here, I have an email list where I send almost daily emails about info and copy and just how this whole world works. So if you just start to read my emails and other people who have big personal brands, you'll very easily just notice patterns and different ways that people are selling their offers and writing copy and just how it all works. And then here's where AI starts to come into play. You can start writing sample emails, sample VSLs for clients that you would potentially work with. Like if you just scroll on social media for a bit and you find somebody who's selling coaching, take it upon yourself to write an email that they could send to their list or script them a new VSL, put it into Claude or ChatGPT and just ask for feedback. Another pro tip here, set up a burner email address that you use to subscribe to people's lists, and then every email in that inbox is basically just more references and more data for you to start to consume. Now, a very important piece of this is you can't spend too much time in the consumption phase where you're just looking at other people and kind of studying. You have to very quickly start outreach. Even if you're completely new, it shouldn't take more than 1 to 4 weeks for you to get a solid understanding of everything that you're going to need to know here. And then the rest of your learning is going to be done on the fly, so you can't wait for the perfect time where you feel like, okay, I'm ready to dive into outreach, I'm already an expert, I know exactly what I'm talking about here. You're gonna feel underprepared, you're gonna feel like you're in over your head, and that is okay. You just have to get through that. And the last piece of phase 1 here is setting up your foundation. So this is where you're getting ready to send outreach on social media and through emails. By now, you should have a sample portfolio of copy that you've written. You should have this swipe file of all of these funnels that you've been looking at. And lastly, just watch some quick YouTube tutorials on tools like Zapier, different CRMs, ClickFunnels. Because again, you don't need to be an expert. You just need to be familiar with the lingo and the different terms that people might use. And I promise you, as long as you spend no more than a month just studying everything that you can and watching every piece of content that you can about this, you're already going to be ahead of 99% of people, because most people just have no idea what they're doing. They don't know how an info product business actually works, so their outreach is absolutely horrible and they're never going to get a good client. Instead, this is how you set yourself up for success the right way. Moving on to phase 2, once you've immersed yourself into the info product world, now it's time to do outreach. And this is the part that most people get stuck on, but I am telling you, it does not have to be that difficult. The good thing about this is one solid client can absolutely change your life. You're not going to be on a client hamster wheel scale forever like you would with a traditional AI agency or an SMMA or AI infrastructures, you really only need 1 to 3 solid clients to make up to $100K a month doing this. And one of the best parts about this model is the fact that the coaching and info product world is absolutely blowing up right now. Everybody's a coach, everybody's trying to build their own personal brand and sell courses, but almost none of them actually know how to operate the back end of the business, and that's why this creates such a big opportunity for people like me and you. And so here's what we're gonna look for in ideal prospects. First, you need to find creators with at least 5,000 followers who are posting educational content. They don't need to have huge audiences. Obviously, if somebody has hundreds of thousands of followers and a huge personal brand, they can make a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that the people who have 5,000 to 10,000 followers and their audience actually cares about them, they trust them, they want to buy something from them. There are cases where somebody with a very niche audience can actually make a lot more money than someone with a broad, more entertainment or diluted audience, and that's because they're in a specific niche. So this could be somebody who's teaching an AI business model or real estate or trading or blue collar businesses. And you don't necessarily have to niche down here, but if you have some sort of background in a specific field, that can totally help you. For example, when I first started this, I was only working with people that were selling online basketball training because I grew up playing basketball. So because I kind of understood that industry and it was also sort of untapped compared to the more popular make money online biz op industries, it was really easy for me to get clients right away. I have a full video showing you how I was doing outreach in that phase, so if you want to see what that looks like, just watch this video after this one. But genuinely, getting clients doesn't have to be hard. Although there might be a good amount of people who are reaching out to people that are selling coaching, most of their pitches are absolutely horrible. I get them myself and they just copy and paste the same message over and over and wonder why they don't get clients. That's the reason why. And your goal is to find personal brands who haven't fully capitalized on their traffic, which leads me to the quality outreach strategy. The way to send outreach that separates you from everybody else in their inbox is by doing your research before you send outreach. And if you followed step 1, you should be pretty good at this. Basically, you're gonna start by funnel hacking their business to find gaps. And funnel hack just means you go through their funnel, you watch their VSL if they have one, you put in your contact info, you subscribe to their email list, and odds are you'll see that a lot of them are missing these pieces of the business, which is crucial to selling information online. And pretty easily, you'll start to notice these gaps and you can use AI to create samples for them. And if you can just commit to sending 5 to 10 high quality pitches a day that aren't generic, they don't sound just like a copy and pasted message that you're sending to everybody, you do some research, maybe you open with a unique compliment that they haven't heard before, and you actually understand their business, what they're selling, what their offer is, and how everything works, and you can identify specific gaps in that funnel, it's gonna be easy to set yourself apart. And if you can just be consistent for a month, it's unreasonable that you won't have a client. And now the last part of outreach here is following up consistently but not aggressively. I see some people will get like offended if a prospect doesn't respond to their first message, and that's just a surefire way to never get a client. You need to accept that most people probably will not respond to your first message, and that's okay. The way that you follow up is you remind them of the value that you sent them initially. So if you send them a Loom or if you send them sample work, ideally in that first message you have something that can be valuable to them, that can help them make more money in their business. So you should be following up every couple days, just reminding them of that value. And again, not being pushy or aggressive, but obviously being persistent. It's better to get told no than to stop trying altogether. So the last piece here is going to be your pitch structure. And this part is easy if you've been following along so far. First, you're going to identify their specific problem. Next, you're going to show proof that you understand their business. Next, you're going to offer a solution with AI generated samples and propose a rev share between 10 and 20% plus a small setup fee. Now, a big thing here is don't overthink pricing in the beginning. This is just an example. If you're a complete beginner, in all honesty, just take whatever you can get at first so you can get some real reps. So that might mean you just get a $2,500 setup fee to build a new funnel or a $2,000 a month retainer for emails. Obviously, if you can get a rev share, great, and ideally you're closer to 20 to 30% rev share. That's how you're gonna scale long term and potentially make 5 figures a month per client like I have. But when you're just starting out, I like to think of every client almost like you're trying to find a winning product drop shipping. Ideally, you get a few clients, you work with each of them for a bit, and then you identify the winners, the ones that are getting the most results based on your efforts, and those become the ones that you actually scale with long term. Moving on to phase 3 here, delivery and scale. So this is once you start to close some clients, you need to do anything you can to get your foot in the door and start to earn their trust. over deliver as much as you possibly can. And sometimes it might be easier for you to start out by just offering 1 or 2 services. So that could just be emails, that could just be a VSL, it could just be a new funnel. Use AI tools like ChatGPT and Poppy to do the majority of the work for you, and then go above and beyond. So if you start to write emails for somebody and then you notice that maybe they could do well with a webinar, or that their sales process needs work, just take it upon yourself, even if that's not in the job description at first. If they're gonna scale, somebody needs to fix those issues, so it might as well be you. That's how you're gonna end up getting a 20 to 30 to even 50% rev share, and your role in their business will just continue to expand. So you're gonna take over more pieces, the sales team management, automations, tracking, and you become like the full stack back-end operator for 1 to 3 offers. And the goal is to have a few clients who are making 6 figures a month each, and you're making at least 20% of the revenue that you generate for them is what you get from your rev share. So if we just do some quick math here, 3 clients at 20% rev shares each, and they're all making 100K a month, you're making 20K per client, you're making 60K a month from just 3 clients. And I know that might sound like a pipe dream, but I'm telling you, if you just follow the steps in this video, it's totally achievable. Now, the last piece of service delivery is leveraging AI for everything. So this is where you're using tools like Poppy to analyze their content, and that helps you write better emails, that helps you write a good VSL, it can help you script a webinar. And there's another tool called Manus that I use for sales process refinement, tracking, all of the stuff on the sales side and reporting that really helps as well. And the beauty of AI is it makes it incredibly easy to create templates and SOPs so that you can just repeat the same process for every client while also getting better results for them than you could on your own. So to sum it up real quick, AI makes what used to take hours now take minutes. I used to spend a lot of time writing copy, writing emails, VSLs, scripting an entire webinar. All of that would genuinely take me hours, and now I can just kind of be the captain who's steering the AI, and I can come up with an idea or an analogy for an email, and within 30 seconds that email can be done and ready to send. Next, when you use AI correctly, you should be a better quality marketer just because of all of the data that you can feed it. Like, you can take my emails, or let's say you have a trading client and you want to take the biggest trading personal brand and copy their VSL, copy their emails. You can feed all of that to the AI, and then you're starting with a huge head start, and you can handle multiple clients without the proportional time increase. And this all becomes a flywheel here, because as you get more results, you have more data, more references, more copy that you can just duplicate for other clients, and scaling just becomes easier and easier over time. Last thing here, key success factors. One good client really can change everything for you. If you're grinding outreach right now, or you're just in the trenches, or when you enter the trenches and you are sending a lot of outbound, just understand that you're one big break away. You just need one solid client who will not only make you a lot of money there, but it'll also make it so you now have a case study and you have a network, and it just becomes easier and easier to get other clients. You just have to get through the part where it's difficult. Next, quality over quantity when it comes to outreach. It is way better to send 10 good pitches every single day than 100 mediocre ones where you just copy and paste the same message. I guarantee you'll get a client way faster with quality outreach, even if it means you're sending lower volume. Next, AI is your unfair advantage. Again, I have plenty of other videos on my channel where I'm showing you exactly how I'm using AI, so those should help you get a better understanding of exactly how to utilize it. And lastly, don't underestimate the network effect. One successful client will lead to dozens of referrals and easier acquisition. Like, I haven't sent any outbound in probably almost a year at this point. And obviously this takes time to build. You have to earn your reputation, but one good client really can be your ticket to never having to do outbound again. Last thing here, so the expected timeline. Month 1 should be dedicated to learning and skill building. Month 2 should be dedicated to outreach and first client acquisition. All you should be focusing on month 2 is doing outreach and sending as many quality pitches daily as you can. Month 3, that's when you start to get clients and you start to expand your services, potentially get them on a rev share, so you're set up for month 4 as you start to scale to 10 to 50K a month with just 1 to 3 clients. Your goal is to become the right-hand guy to successful creators. You handle all the back-end ops while they focus on content. You get a rev share and you become a true business partner. That's exactly what I've done to make almost $3 million over the last few years doing this. And it's exactly what my members are doing inside of Artisan Lab to make 10 to 100K a month with just a handful of clients. If you want to join them and work with me directly, go to the first link in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, show this to your grandma. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.